everybody, welcome back to a new episode of the Just One More Stitch Knit and Chat podcast. My name is Tiffany and I am the creator behind this channel. And on this channel we talk about knitting, crocheting, a little bit of sewing, some English paper piecing, what I might be reading, whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be getting into at whatever time we're recording the videos. You can find me on Ravelry as Tiffany Loves Yarn, and you can find me on Instagram as Tiffs_inspired life. I kind of had a bit of a cast on situation since last time we talked. I have 3 finished objects, one pretty far along project, and 2 half of a projects. Yeah, 2 halves. So I guess let us start with the first thing first, and I guess that would be the title of this video. So this video is called Grief Makes Us Do Strange Things. And for people that have been around since the very first video or the very first YouTube post that I did, you guys might have seen the post where I have a picture of my cat Shiva, and she is counting my socks to keep me accountable. And she was my best friend, went everywhere with me, did everything with me. And on August 25th, I took her to the vet and I didn't get to bring her home. And so I knew the day before that she was most likely going to be going to the vet and not coming home. And I cast on a project in her honor, which led me to cast on multiple projects the next day when I came home from the vets without her. So yeah, that's why there was no video last Sunday as well. So my apologies. I did try, but it was hard. You guys wouldn't have wanted to see me. I had big red puffy eyes and my mascara kept running. It was not a thing. But all that aside, I was able to bring her remains home just a few days later. She was not supposed to be back for 2 weeks and she came back really quickly. And it's interesting because I was talking to my oldest daughter and telling her what had happened or what was about to happen. And she had said, well, if I was you, Mom, I would get Shiva's ashes and I would have them at the house with you. And I was like, no, I don't think I want her ashes. I don't think I'll be okay. And she said, Mom, just trust me. It will make you feel better. It will give you closure. And so when before the vet did what she had to do, they had me fill out the paperwork and they asked me if I wanted her ashes back. And for some strange reason, the words yes came out of my mouth. I don't know why, because I'd made up my mind that the answer was no. And then when I came home afterwards, like I couldn't even bring myself to get out of my car, because for me it was like I'm going into the house without her, and I just wasn't prepared for that. And it took me probably 45 minutes or so sitting in the car. And then like I couldn't even come upstairs because that's where she spent the most of her time, and it was just a whole situation. But oddly, her remains were ready to come back home really quickly, like 2 days. And as soon as I had her remains back, I felt like better, like a piece of me wasn't missing anymore. And I was really surprised by that because I didn't think that bringing her remains home would have brought me peace. I thought it would have been the opposite. And I still don't have peace. Like, as you can see, I still can't say the thing. She's not here anymore. But so yeah, that's why there's no video. That's why the video is titled what it is, because The night that I knew that the next day I was going to have to take her, I just put her in the bed with me and got her comfortable, and I knit and I knit and I knit and I knit. And for whatever reason, I was like, everything that I have been working on while she is alive, it needs to be done. I don't know why, but in my head, it just needed to be done. So with that said, I finished my Sophie scarf. And let's see, this one is just made with some Knit Picks worsted. I used size 6 needles. I did the standard number of stitches for the increases. I did the 33 stitches, which was the large. And then for just a couple of rows, I did, I stretched it when I blocked it the next day a little bit, but I knit for just a couple of rows before I started the decreases. And I really like it. I was worried that it was going to be kind of itchy with the Knit Picks worsted, but after I blocked it and let it sit out in the sun, it was great, and I love it, and I'm super excited to wear it, hopefully to when I go to New York this winter. So I'll have this as a pop of color. So I'm super excited. So that night I finished this. That night I also cast on a new Sophie. And this one I picked, and this is going to be my my Shiva Sophie. And I picked it because Shiva was this color. And this is some mohair that I had. I will put a picture of the label up here because I didn't grab it before I came to record. So I'll put it up here. So I get this mohair, and then I picked green for just in honor of the fact that, you know, life changes, but there's always new growth, and everything just continues in a cycle, you know. So I was like, okay, green. And so the two together, which I thought was really pretty, and I'll put the label for this one as well because I didn't bring it in before I started to record, produced this. And I thought that this was just so pretty. So this is what I worked on the last bit of time, last night that she was home. And I haven't worked on it since, but I'm hoping that this weekend I can actually start to work on this again, because I would like to finish it because it's just super soft like her and reminds me of her. So yeah, that was the other thing that I cast on. So the next day was a Friday, and that Friday I decided that I was just going to knit and cast on all the things. So I decided first that I was going to finish my socks. So you guys remember this one with the sparkly rib and the unknown yarn. So I have finished one of the socks. And this is just a regular vanilla sock, 1x1 rib. This was one of those socks that I don't know why I cast on the 1x1 rib, but it actually worked. I remember that for this one, I was like, I had used like the wrinkly bit of the yarn from a previous project, and I was like, oh, I'll just go with it because I didn't want to cut it and waste the yarn. So yeah. So I have not cast on the other sock yet, and I went with the sparkly for the toe as well. I know it's really not practical, but you know what? At the time, it made me happy, and that was really all I was looking for. So I haven't cast on the other sock yet. I know that I'm hoping this weekend to get it cast on, but we'll see because all my sock needles are full. You'll see. I finished Jay's sock. So, and it blocked out really nicely. And this is the one that is made with that skein of yarn that you can get a whole family's worth of socks out of. And so I got the first one done. And if you guys remember, when I did the heel flap on this one, I forgot that I had cast on the 72 stitches. And so I did a heel flap for my standard 64. So it was only 32 stitches. And I was like, well, we'll just go with it and see what happens. And if it fits Jay, then great. I'll make the other sock to match it. And if it doesn't, then I'll just give him to Alejandria. So after I finished the sock, I blocked it and Jay tried it on and he was like, oh, it fits great. It's perfect. So I had written down what I did this time. I know, shocker. And so now I can make him the other sock, but I haven't cast that one on yet because I felt I needed to cast on all the new things. So I have one sock done, but at least it's done. The next thing that I finished that same weekend was I finished Mom's Hermione Everyday Sock with the Eye of Partridge heel that I absolutely love, and I think that I should put it on all my socks. And my mom was actually here this weekend and she got to see the socks and she was like, okay, you need to cast on the other sock and you need to get it finished before I go home. So I did cast it on over the weekend and this is as far as I got. But then she ended up having to go home early. So obviously I didn't get it finished before the weekend. But I've got plenty of yarn left. And she actually said that she wants a pair of footy socks out of this when I'm done making these ones. So I'm going to try to get her a pair of footy socks out of this also. But I think I started these on Sunday, this past Sunday. I started this one for her. So hopefully these will be finished this weekend because right now I'm really enjoying that 4-row repeat for the Hermione Everyday Sock. Let me see what else. I think, oh, no, that's not it. I finished the Novelli. I'm like, there's something else I'm supposed to be telling them about. I finished the Novelli. The Novelli is done. I finished this. It's in my Ravelry. I'll put a snippet right here of the project page from Ravelry so you guys can see because I can't remember what day I finished it after I blocked it. But yeah, it's done. It's super comfortable. I really like it. I'll put some video footage right here of me in it so you guys can see. Let me see. I have to wear a tank top with it because remember I told you guys in the previous video that I thought it was going to be too short. So this is what it looks like. And it's probably, here's where my natural waist sits. Right about here. So it's like, what is that? About 2.5 inches, I'd say. Shorter than my natural waist. And I have one end left to weave in. But it's done. And I like it. It's really comfortable. But it's definitely something that I can't wear without a tank top or something on underneath it. So I might go back and I might steek it and add some extra rows. I don't know because I have like a whole skein of the yarn left. So we'll see. I got my sleeves right this time. I have ample space, so that was awesome. The shoulders are done with the 3 needle bind off, which was really fun, and I loved the detailing that it created. Yeah, again, I loved the pattern. I can't say enough about it. I think I definitely want to knit another one. I think maybe in pastels to have for the spring and just make the body longer this time. But yeah, so the Novelli, I finished the Novelli. Yeah, it's done. Yay, so happy. The other thing that I cast on, I think I cast it on the 27th. I think it was the 27th. I'll put again, here's the Ravelry page for it right here. I decided that I wanted to use some yarn from my stash, and I had 2 skeins of Hobby Lobby's Yarn ID in the colorway Pink Himalayan Sea Salt, and 3 skeins in the colorway, I can't remember, Beach Stone, something like that. If I still have the labels, I'll put it right here. Anyway, I decided that I wanted to use them from my stash and I wanted to make something that was going to give me some instant gratification. So I decided that I was going to try my hand at the granny hexagon cardigan. And I finished mine a couple of days ago and I love it. This is so cool. The construction is amazing. Like, I think I posted on the community tab a picture that said, can anyone guess what I'm making? And it was just the start of the hexagons. I think I'd been like 4, maybe 5 rounds in. Anyway, absolutely love this pattern. Can totally see myself making another one of these. As soon as I was finished with it, I chucked it in the washer and I chucked it in the dryer because I used acrylic yarn. So I knew that if I did that it would go all limp because I crocheted this with worsted weight yarn and a size H crochet hook, which is 5 millimeters. And so it was kind of stiff. You know how if you use like that one size smaller than you technically should have crochet hook, but I didn't want the holes between the grannies to be super big. So I went with the H, and then to get it to do just the drapey, flollopy thing that, you know, the squish factor that we all live for, I put it in the washer and dryer, and that made it so soft and squidgy. And I'll put some footage of me wearing it here, but I have to show you guys, like, my favorite feature of this has got to be the sleeve. The bell sleeve, the balloon sleeve. I love this so much. It's so much fun. Yeah, I can't say enough about it. The pattern is on Ravelry, but the creator at Craft and a Cuppa, or Cuppa and a Craft and a Cuppa. I'll leave a link for her YouTube channel in the description below. She did a whole 1.5 hour long tutorial on how to make this, and she even included the measurements that you should be like aiming for depending on the size you were going to make. And then you could leave like a super thanks or what have you if you wanted to do that instead of actually going on to Ravelry or Etsy and buying the pattern. So I just followed along with her video. And honestly, once you have the hexagon started and you know how far out your hexagon needs to be, like for me, mine needed to be 25.5 centimeters from the center. Once I knew that, I was off to the races. And I didn't finish this until September 7th, but that's because I ran out of yarn. So I ran out of both of the colors, and I went to Hobby Lobby and I was able to get the pink Himalayan sea salt, but not the other color, the sand, whatever it was. And come to find out, Hobby Lobby doesn't make it anymore. I couldn't find anybody on eBay or on Etsy, or I searched Amazon. I looked on Mercari to see if anybody had a skein of it that they had for sale, and nobody had one for sale. So I had bought 2 other skeins of the oat, but when I brought them home, the oat was really warm, whereas you can see that stone is a very cool color. So I was like, that's not going to work. And I went to go and put those 2 skeins away in my yarn closet downstairs, and there was another skein of the stone yarn there that apparently I missed when I grabbed the other 4 out of the closet to start the project. And so I was like, score. So happy. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna play yarn chicken and do the best I can, because I hadn't finished the hexagons, let alone created the sleeves or done the bottom body. I hadn't even finished the hexagons yet, and I was already playing yarn chicken. So I went as far as I could, and I actually made it really, really far. I ended up having to do 3 rows, 3 rows on the body, and the 3 rows all the way around the what would be the button band, you know, the side front panels, and around the collar. I ended up having to do all of that in pink. My center back join as you go column was also done in pink, and I did the ribbing for the cuffs in that pink, and it left me with a small ball like this of the pink left and a really small ball of the sand, whatever it was left. But yeah, if you guys haven't made one of these and you do crochet, highly recommend go and make one. They're so much fun, and this is going to be so nice to wear in the wintertime. And I'm definitely going to make another one. I want to make it longer though, because I prefer longer, which I couldn't do on this one because I was playing yarn chicken. But I definitely want to make another one. And she gives you different options for when you're joining for the sleeve right here bit. And I chose to do mine so that I put two right sides together and then seamed it. And so it actually created this really nice, let's see if you guys can, nice detailing down the sleeve. So if you do decide to make one, I highly recommend doing it that way. And the other thing that I would suggest is when you go to pick up when you go to do your knit crochet two together all the way around to create this balloon effect to make your cuff, maybe don't crochet every single two together. Like maybe I crocheted 5 together. I did that 5 times, and then I had 2 stitches that I didn't crochet them together, and then I did it 5 more around, and then I had 2. So that I ended up with, I think it was 18 stitches, because when I did it the first time, even though I've got really small hands, it was still hard for me to comfortably get my hand in there, and so I had to redo it. So yeah, I would recommend that one thing is just don't crochet 2 together all the way around. Maybe every other one or every 3 or every 5, but not every single one. I was worried that I was going to have to do like regular crocheted ribbing at the end where you have to, crochet up so far and then you've got to loop in through that stitch at the end to join it. And no, she just does front and back post double crochets, which produced this really nice effect. It's not as stretchy as what it would be if it was ribbing, but it does the job. And you could probably do the standard ribbing on the end of the cuff if you wanted to, but when given the choice, not this girl. But yeah, so this was I needed some instant gratification project, and yeah, I love it. I'm gonna make some more. Sweater video. So you guys have seen the sweater video. It is out. I am working on a new bonus video for you guys about, I can't tell you. It's a secret. No, I'll tell you guys at the end of this video. So from the sweater video, I said that I really wanted to cast on the bright side first, and I wanted to use Phil Kalana's Arowetta. And it was the first yarn that I went off and ordered. I was super excited when it came. It's everything that I thought it would be, and then some. It was slightly thinner than I expected, but look at that red. If a fire engine and burgundy had a baby, it would be this color, which is what I wanted. And this is how far we are. It's bunched up on the needles. It's not really this small, but they're all bunched up. So this is how far we are so far. I have cast on the neck. I have done the raglan increases. I just have the sleeves on a piece of Lion brand cotton. I think that is, yeah, Lion brand cotton, holding the sleeves, and I'm working on the body. I have made it through probably about 1 inch, and you have to go for 10 inches for the body, and then you start the ribbing. But the ribbing on the bright side is really wide, but because this is such a thin yarn, I don't think that I'm gonna do, I think it's like 2.5 inches for the ribbing on the hem, but I think I'm only going to do like a narrow, like the collar, And like, that's also what I'm going to do on the cuffs as well. So I think that's what I'm going to do on the hem, is a narrow, and maybe I'll just knit the body for maybe 11 inches, maybe 12. Yeah, either 11 or 12 inches. For me, a sweater can never be too long because I can always bunch it up or stretch it out, or I'm gonna make it work. So yeah, so here it is. I really, really like it. I like the yarn. It's not gonna be a super thick and heavy sweater, so it's one I'm gonna be able to wear throughout the fall, and I'm gonna be able to continue to wear it through the winter, just with like a tank top or something on underneath it. And I think it could probably even get me through to the spring. So I'm super, super enjoying this. I have already picked out the yarn to cast on another one, because when I was rummaging through my yarn, I found this ginormous skein that my mom had given me, of course, that had 1,100 yards in it. So stay tuned for that. Bright Side 2.0 will be cast on this weekend probably. So that's how far we are on the bright side. It will probably be finished. The body at least will be finished by the next video. I don't know about the arms, because, you know, Slave Island, it's a real place. So we'll see. Oh, I didn't use the needles to gauge that are recommended in the pattern. I used a size 4 and a size 6 because I've got super loose gauge. Naturally, when I knit in the round, well, we all do, but mine is like super, super loose gauge anyway, so I knit the body on a size 6, because I figured, and then I went like, I didn't knit entirely to pattern. I added one more increase round because I knit the size small. Yeah, and so I added one more increase round to my body. So I ended up with, instead of 109 stitches, 9 and 8, I ended up with 117 stitches on each side. I just added one more increase because I figured that that would be more than enough to compensate for the needles size. But yeah, look at that. Isn't that pretty? Totally loving it. Right, so I cast on that. I'm going to cast on another bright side. What else have I been up to? Oh, okay. So I cast on lots of socks, but in this video, I will show you guys. Okay, so I cast on, remember these ones? And I gave you guys a bunch of different options, and I asked, which ones do you think, what colors I should use for these ones? These are the Sunburst socks, right? So what I ended up deciding to do was, I was sitting there looking at the pattern, and I decided that I wanted to make, since these were supposed to be a nod to the fall, when I think of the fall, I think about caramel apples. And so I decided, oh, I'm gonna make these socks look like caramel apples, like with the top right here would be like the caramel drizzling down the apples. So I went onto Amazon and I found some green yarn. This is just some called Andean Sun. It's a fingering weight alpaca yarn. It's 35% alpaca, 15% wool, and 50% acrylic. I know, alpaca on socks, not practical, but they're gonna be so comfortable. They're gonna be so nice. I'm really excited. So this is the color that I chose, and it really makes me think of green apples. So yeah. It was really affordable. It was, I think it was 6 skeins for like $20. So I'm like, I'm thinking that in retrospect, I might actually change this to the color that I do that, the forest sweater in, because then it could be even more affordable. But I really want to do it in the drops, so maybe not. Anyway, so this was the green that I chose. And then the biscotti yarns in their colorway biscotti is what I decided on for the cuff and the toes, and for the dribble of the caramel. So these two together. produced, oh, stuck, produced this. How, come on, how cool is that? Like, I know, right? Like, this was so much fun. Super, super fun. It took me a minute, it took me a couple of tries to get the green color joined, because the first time I did it, you have this round, the very first round after you start your ribbing, and it kind of does like this garter row right here of the caramel. So I had a hard time figuring out how to get the green in so the green didn't show. And the first time I had like these funky green bits that were sticking out, and I was like, what's the deal? And then it took me a couple of tries to figure out that you do a couple of rows where you don't carry a color at all. So it's kind of in a way like mosaic knitting. At least that's how I ended up figuring out how to do that. That may not have been the pattern designer's intention, but that's where I ended up. And it's working, so who cares? It's working. So, and this is what it looks like on the inside. So I've caught my floats all the way around for the rows where I'm actually having to carry two colors at the same time. And I think it's, I can't remember because it's been about 4 days since I worked on this. There is, I think it's 2 rows that I don't actually have to use both colors at the same time, but yeah. So it's super fun. I am really excited to finish these. I have lofty goals of finishing this sock this weekend, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I think for this video, that is actually all that I pulled out to show you guys. I cast on 1, 2, 3 other pairs of socks. I can see them on the other side. I feel like there's another one laying around somewhere, but then again, maybe not. I am working on my summer vibe sock, the last one, and I'm almost done with that. I just have 2 more colors left to do, and then the toe, and it's finished. So the summer vibe socks will be finished for the next video. The only other thing, oh, okay. So remember when I was telling you guys that I had, last thing, 4 skeins of this yarn in the Hobby Lobby, their hand-dyed yarn, and I was like, I need 1 more skein in order to make the woolen honey sweater by Andrea Mowry. Picture right here. But I can't find it anywhere. So I went Hobby Lobby hunting, and it's not out there anywhere. And I looked again on Etsy and on eBay, and I couldn't find anybody that had this particular colorway left. So while my mom was here, I was rummaging through my stash, and I said to my mom, well, what if I used a different color, a different yarn for the ribbing of the neck and the sleeves and the hem? That would give me back some of the yarn that I would need for the body or for the length of the arms. And my mom was like, oh, that's a good idea. What have you got? So I found 2 skeins of this mystery yarn, right? So I figured I would use this, and then this will be the body of the sweater and the arms, obviously. So it's not quite as bright as it's showing up in the camera, but the sun is setting, so it's still bright on this side of the house. I'll take a picture and I'll have Jay put it either here or here, wherever he thinks is best, so you guys can see what I mean. The only thing is that in that pattern, Andrea does the ribbing and then she jumps right into the honeycombs. So I'll have to do the ribbing of the collar in this color, all of the rows except maybe the last row of the ribbing I'll do in this one. And then that way I'll have this color active and on the needles when I start that honeycomb motif. I think that'll work. I haven't looked to see if she's got short row shaping in the back. which might mean I don't join this. Yeah, I would still have to join this. Yeah, ignore me, I'm thinking. So yeah, either way, even if she has short row shaping in the back, I still have to join this. I think that's everything for this week. Yeah. As of the recording of this video, it is Friday, September 8th, and right before I started recording, we were at 98 subscribers, so we have 2 to go. I have already recorded the video for the Yay We Reached 100 subscribers, so as soon as we do, I will post that one along with all of the deets for how to enter the giveaway. And I think that's everything. Yeah, I think I've covered everything. I will definitely have a video for next Sunday because, like I said, I've already started casting on stuff and have 2 more sweaters that I need to cast on. And I think I might try to make another one of these. Yeah, I think I might do this tonight actually. Oh, that reminds me. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys was that I was watching the Crazy Sock Ladies video, and she has the pattern by Arowetta for the, I think it's called the Forest Cardigan. I'll put a picture right here. Anyway, I saw Kay's today in her video, and I was like, oh my God, I have to knit that. I have to make that. So I went and I got the pattern today. It's knit with worsted weight yarn, so I get to stash dive again, and it's got some really cool detailing and ways that it's made. Like the button band is done at the same time as the sweater, but it's done on a separate needle. So yeah, if you haven't seen Kay's video that she posted a couple of days ago where she talks about the sweater, go watch it. You too will feel the need to buy the pattern and cast on the sweater. So that will also be in next week's video. Anyway, on that note, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Thank you for bearing with me while I dealt with my kitty situation and took a week off. And if you liked this video and you found it entertaining, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and comment. I read and respond to all of the comments. I've been known to carry on entire conversations with some people in their comments. And I will see you in the next video, and hopefully you will see me by the end of this weekend to say we hit 100 subscribers. All right, everybody, have a great week, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.